Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a foundation review on this new foundation from Makeup Forever. This is the Matte Velvet Skin 24-Hour Wear Foundation. If you're interested in seeing how this foundation works out for me, make sure you keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Real talk, I have not had the best track record with Makeup Forever foundations. None of them have ever really worked for my skin type, and I've always just struggled to find a good color match and also something that is just gonna look like skin. As of late, nothing has really been comparing to my Dior foundations. I love the way they look on my skin, but a good matte foundation always catches my eye, and that's the reason why I picked up this one right here. Now I have been playing around with this a little bit, so I do have an idea of how it's gonna wear on my skin, but I definitely wanted to give it one really good go on camera so you guys can see how it settles into my skin and also how it wears throughout the day. For those of you who are new to my channel, I just want to let you know that I do struggle with a few different skin issues. The first is acne. It's something that I've dealt with for a while. I also have oily skin, I have enlarged pores, and mild rosacea just around this area of my face here. So I always look for a full coverage foundation or for a foundation that will help cover up and conceal a lot of the imperfections that I don't always want out there in the world. Before I go ahead and apply this foundation to my skin, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background information on the foundation. I'm really just reading off the back of the box here. The website says the exact same thing too. This is a next generation mattifying foundation that combines full coverage, 24-hour wear, and a second skin effect. It contains the latest generation of Flexi Fit Mesh Complex, which adapts to the movements of the skin for more comfortable wear. The buildable texture won't clog pores, and it's easy to apply and blend, leaving your complexion looking velvety without a mask effect. The waterproof formula makes for a long-lasting, flawless finish and is enriched with cinnamon and ginger to be respectful of your skin. The box says that it is medium to full coverage, so I assume it's generally a medium coverage foundation that can be built up to full. This product is made in France and it's good for 12 months. On the website, it does say this foundation is best applied using the Makeup Forever Paddle Foundation brush. This is the number 108. I just happen to have this in my collection. I did not buy it for this review, so I am just going to use this to apply the product. Even though I always love a beauty blender, I do have it on standby. It is dampened and ready to go. There is 30 milliliters of product in this little squeezy tube right here, which I'm not mad at, and I got the shade Y215 before I drop this. I actually think this is a little bit too light for my skin and it's got too much of a golden undertone. That's one of the issues that I struggle with a lot of the Makeup Forever foundations. I can't find a good match to my skin, something with more of a neutral undertone. It's either too pink or too yellow for me. So I'm gonna give this a go and play with it as best I can, and yeah, that's kind of it. So let me zoom you in and let's get started. Let's give this a quick little shake. Of course, it is a squeezy tube, which I don't mind, still keeps the product sanitary. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it with my fingers on half of my face first. I don't wanna go in with too much product, just because I think it's easier to build it up rather than to try and take some of this foundation away. So I'm just gonna work this product into my skin using this paddle brush. I hate applying foundation with a brush. I really, really do. As you can see, the shade definitely does not match my skin tone, but ignoring the shade, we are just gonna see how this foundation wears. Here's the side of my face with the foundation on, and then as I turn over, this is my bare skin. I'm seeing a lot of redness peek through. I don't feel like there has been really great coverage, but that was with the brush. On the other side, I was gonna use the brush to apply it as well, but I think I'm just gonna go in with my beauty blender to see if there's any difference. So similar to last time, I'm just gonna dab some of the product onto my skin and allow the beauty blender to do all of the work. I actually like the side that was blended out with the sponge a lot more than the brush side. I feel like the brush side just accentuated all of my texture, my pores, even though I did use my Tatcha pore filling primer. Yeah, I just don't like the way it's sitting on this side, although it is a little bit better over here. The foundation does claim that it is buildable coverage, so I am gonna see if I can build it up just a little bit more along this area here. And I'm gonna use my sponge to do this because I don't want to run into the risk of having more issues with the brush. So let's see if I can mask some more of this redness, because there's actually quite a bit that is peeking through at the moment. The foundation did build up really nicely. As you can see, I've got a little more coverage around my cheek areas now, and it doesn't look cakey with the buildup. If you have dry skin, even normal skin, I do not think you're gonna like this foundation because it will cling to everything that is on your face. So I would completely avoid it if that is your skin type. At one point, I did have the Makeup Forever HD concealer. Unfortunately, it did not work for me, so I got rid of it. Instead, I am gonna be using my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I've got it in the shade C6. I'm just gonna dab a little bit onto this area here where I typically have extra redness. And the website suggested that I use the Makeup Forever HD Loose Setting Powder, which I do have, and I'm gonna go ahead and use, that is a lot of powder. Whatever you do, do not inhale this powder, my God. Imagine waking up to this face in the morning. Oh my God. I think I would scare myself and probably crap my own pants. To wipe away all of this setting powder, I am gonna go in with my Makeup Forever Pro Finish Powder. This is in the shade 113. Now that everything is set on my face, this is what my skin is looking like. So it's certainly a lot smoother. I think it did help fill in any additional pores and other texture that I did have. My skin is very, very fair at the moment. Of course, the shades aren't exactly what my shade currently is, so that's why I look super, super pale. However, I am gonna go off camera to finish off the rest of my face, add a little bit of warmth, contour, eyes, all of that good stuff, and hopefully everything is gonna look a little more uniform. So I'm gonna be back in just a minute. The rest of my face is now on, and I had zero problems getting any of my powders to blend. As you can see, the bronzer looks nice and smooth. I did go a little bit heavy with it because everything else is just so fair on my skin at the moment. I also love how my eye look came together. Everything is just looking great. I am gonna keep this foundation on for the rest of the day and check in with you so you guys can see how it's holding up. And at the end of the night, I'm gonna have some final thoughts for you, of course. Welcome to the first check-in of the day. I actually just left Square One shopping mall. I went in to grab a couple of things really quickly, and I had to get out because it was just so crowded. And of course, it's the long weekend, so that's absolutely to be expected, but y'all know I don't deal very well with crowds, so I was kind of in and out pretty quickly. In terms of this foundation though, oh my goodness, I think I am liking it more and more now that my natural oils are starting to come through. Hopefully you guys can see it through the camera right now, but the foundation is sitting really nicely on my skin. There is a little bit of redness sort of peeking through, but overall it's not too shabby. I will just check in with you guys a little bit later on to see how well this is still holding up. Here we are for the second check-in of the day. I'm standing in front of my big window over here, so I have lots of natural light so you guys can see what this foundation looks like with that. And it's still looking good. Like, it's not bad. I can't believe my face is actually still matte. Like, I'm not seeing any huge oiliness. On my cheek right there is actually the highlighter. My nose is a little bit on the oily side, but it's not so bad. And everything, if I bring you in a little bit closer, I hope it's translating on this camera. Like, the foundation is just sitting really nicely. There is a little bit of shifting where my glasses pads are sitting, but aside from that, and a little bit of redness peeking through here, it looks like the foundation has sort of just melted off. We're in pretty good shape. All right, guys, this is the final check-in of the day. Apologies for the lighting being a little bit off, but I did have to put away my studio lights because I'm about to crash. I'm gonna zoom you in so you guys can see how things are going on my face. So, as you can see, the foundation is still wearing really well on my cheeks. It has faded on my chin a little bit. Focus, please. And on my upper lip, it has also faded. And if I just take off my glasses real quick, you guys can probably see along my cheeks over here, I've got some redness peeking through. My nose, the foundation looks like it has completely disappeared. So it's faded. Of course, my glasses have left the indents and the foundation did transfer in there. The other cheek is still looking pretty good, and my forehead is still in a relatively decent shape. All in all, this foundation has worn well throughout the day. It hasn't looked cakey. The one thing I've got to give this foundation props for is that it has stayed matte all day long. I have done nothing to my face since application. The powder seemed to really help melt it into my skin. So that is one really great plus with this foundation. I've worn this foundation previously, and to be quite honest with you, I did not like it. And I think I didn't like it because I was putting too much of it on my face. And it was really caking up. It was picking up on my dry patches, clinging to my texture. It just looked like a hot mess. I really didn't want to keep it on my face. So with this time around, I made sure that I used a little bit of product and then built it up where I needed, and that seemed to really do the trick. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think I have finally found a Makeup Forever foundation that actually works for my skin. So woohoo! Way to go, Makeup Forever. All in all, this foundation is good. Is it as good as some of my holy grails? No. Is it a foundation that I will use frequently? Probably not. Is it a foundation that I will use as a backup to my ride or dies? Yeah, I think so. If you're considering this particular foundation, I would strongly recommend that you go in store to do a shade match. It is really difficult to figure out what color you're gonna be based on the online descriptions, which really aren't great. The one thing I will warn you with this particular foundation is that most of the shades do have a gold or a pink undertone. I didn't really find a lot of neutral undertones, so that's the one downside, at least from my observations. I could totally be wrong in this category, but this was really the best shade that I could find for my skin at the moment. For the price point, it's not a bad foundation, but like I said, it's not going to be a go-to for me. I hope you found this review mildly helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. If you guys want, you can also connect with me offline on all of my social media. I'll make sure to link everything for you in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you are having an amazing day no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.